Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk about this new red dot I got, the Holosun 503G. Okay, and the cool thing about this red dot is that it has both a bullet drop compensator and a range estimator built into the red dot itself. So on the box over here, they kind of give you an idea of what to expect. They give you a horseshoe, which you can remove the horseshoe by holding down the negative button. And then basically you see a chevron, and then you see three dots underneath it. And then what they also do is they give you a schedule. And that schedule shows you what those three dots mean for different calibers. So for example, for 5.56 it will mean one thing. For 7.62 by 3.9 it will mean another thing. For 9mm rifle it'll mean something else, and for the 22 again it'll mean something else. What I did is I mounted it on my 22 AR, and the reason I did this is because the 22 is slower. So basically it will allow me to see the bullet drop. It basically will allow me to use that bullet drop compensator, within the 200 yards that I'm shooting at. Because basically if you're shooting 5.56, that bullet drop compensation really doesn't come into play until you're shooting about 400 yards plus. Okay, with the 22, and I'm shooting these Remington golden bullets, this bucket of bullets over here, really great ammo. I'm shooting that, and basically what they have you do is they have you zero in at 50 yards. So top of the chevron, right? The top goes at 50 yards. And then at 100 yards, basically you're using the bottom of the chevron. And then when I went further back to, I think it was 125 yards, you're using the first dot. At 150 yards, you're using the second dot. At 175 yards, you're using the third dot. Okay, so that's how that works. So it's a great concept, and I love it. I love this idea of this the bullet drop compensator built into the scope. And also they give you a range estimator because the chevron itself, right, is sighted in, or rather it's basically it assumes that the average width of a man is about 18 inches. And basically if you're if you're looking at a man at 300 yards, the man should be on the just at the outside of the chevron of the arrow. If they're at 400 yards, they should be on the inside of the chevron. So they give you a way to estimate range based on the average width of a man. Okay, so that's really cool. Now the reason why I was so excited about that is because I have that same system on this 1 to 8 power scope, okay, with the bullet drop compensator, and it's been working really great, and I love it. Okay, I have it on my Ruger MPR. It's a 1 to 8 power scope. Now on this scope, basically, in order for the bullet drop compensation to mean anything, you have to be at 8 power, and at 8 power you're zoomed in so that you have plenty of space between the different lines. And you can clearly see it. When you're at 1 power, those lines mean nothing. Basically, the entire reticle functions as a red dot. And usually, I keep even though those lines and the reticle has the ability, it's got a battery you can turn on, you get red illumination. I usually keep it off because it's pretty much etched onto the glass. Basically, if you keep the power off, you see everything in black, which works fine for me. Now, here's the thing with the red dot, okay, because it's a red dot, everything is red. And here's the thing: it's a great concept. However, it's not going to work for me. And the reason why it's not going to work for me is because my eyes aren't good enough for this red dot. Okay, now even though this is a recent prescription that I'm using, okay, and mind you, I'm 47 years old, so my eyes are not like what they used to be, 20 years ago. So even though I'm using a fairly recent prescription, if I'm staring at that red dot long enough, what happens is the three dots and the arrow, the separation between them tends to kind of disappear, and it starts looking like a solid arrow to me. Okay, so for my eyes and what I think is the eyes of at least half the population, this system is not going to work. Okay, so that I'm just kind of putting that out there for you guys to be aware of. I think it's a great red dot. I think the idea behind it is great, but at least half of you, I don't think are going to be able to fully utilize it. Now, as far as, once you get it zeroed in, I mean, I did manage to get, at 110 yards, I got a nice 3-inch grouping, using this Colt 22 AR, using bulk ammo. Okay, so red dot is working. Now at that distance, basically, I'm using I had it at the bottom of the chevron. But then when I started trying to use, of course the chevron is a little wider, so I can tell where the base of it is a little bit easier. Once I started trying to use the dots below it, if I found that if I stared at it long enough, I kind of lost, the dots kind of lost separation, and it looked almost like one solid line. And I was kind of guessing where the three dots kind of began and end. Okay, so that is something that you guys may experience or you may not experience. I don't know. It depends on how good your eyes are. So just I wanted to put that out there. But other than that, I think it's a great red dot. I've only had it for a couple of days. I'm working on it. And I usually wait a lot longer before I review something. Like when I did the Attaball review, I waited a full year for that. I know that with this particular red dot, my situation is not going to improve, and again, it's not a problem with the red dot, it's a problem with my ability to work with the red dot. That's just not the right red dot for me. And I want to make you guys, aware of it, that, for the same reason, it may not work for you. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.